P is for prom when the women appear, a season of pleasure which comes once a year. This quote from the 1925 Salmagundi describes junior prom, the precedence of what we know today as spring party weekend. A stronghold of Colgate University's social calendar, junior prom was one of, if not the biggest, most anticipated social event of the year. Colgate students looked forward to this event because it was a chance for them to experience their three favorite things: liquor, ladies, and loud singing. The yearbook was even giving advice to any new junior prommers. Drink not too heavily of the fruit of the vine, for the present-day beverage holdeth untold powers of destruction.
Rarely are there moments in history when the government does not just change a law or right, but rather abolishes it altogether. The junior prom described above occurred during the midst of one of the most controversial examples of these moments, Prohibition, the official ban of the sale and use of alcohol in the United States. Prohibition was made into law by the 18th Amendment, which was ratified on January 16, 1919, 100 years after the founding of Colgate University.
With its already prestigious academic reputation as well as a wide variety of sports teams, it was a school full of focused, driven, and hardworking students.
However, these motivated students turned their focus in a new direction. Although most of the fight was behind closed doors, the students at Colgate were determined to not allow the new laws of prohibition to affect their traditional social events or the alcohol-related activities that were involved with them.
Like any college campus, students found plenty of time for social activities on their own, many of which were planned and hosted by the 11 Greek fraternities present on campus at the time. The highlights of their parties were the ones that took place leading up to junior prom. As one can only imagine, alcohol was present at many of these events.
Obtaining alcohol during Prohibition was no easy feat. At Colgate, the boys luckily had a creative spirit to fall back on. Dressing up as police officers to catch bootleggers and steal their alcohol was one of their favorite ways to get their fill of drinks for the weekend.
The complete and total prohibition of alcohol for citizens of all ages throughout the country was faced with much opposition, even in an area as small as Hamilton, New York. Headlines and quotes such as, "Distillers will fight, desperate attempt to be made to halt prohibition," and "New York seems to be aghast at the rapidity with which prohibition has come upon the country," filled the local newspaper, the Hamilton Republican, in the months following the ratification.
Some Colgate students were clearly opposed to Prohibition as well, even in the years before it was made into actual law. In 1915, Bernard Clausen was part of an oration contest regarding the topic of Prohibition. National prohibition trespasses upon a man's liberty. Every citizen has a right to say what he shall eat and drink. When the government seeks to abrogate that right, it oversteps the limit of its jurisdiction.
It is hard to determine what truly occurs behind the scenes of documented social life. Even today, it would be hard to prove the existence of illegal drinking just through university publications. And yet, it is still possible to see that the ban seems to have little to no grand effect on the campus's social life. Colgate students rebelled against the new laws by simply continuing their social traditions, such as junior prom, as if nothing had changed. Reflecting the general student opinion on prohibition, the 1922 Salmagundi quotes, "This is the only thing in America that hasn't gone dry."